I just don't got my twin, bro. I don't got my friends, bro. I'm just fucked up, right? I'm fucked up, bro. The nigga who I be with every day, I don't got him no more, bro. I'm fucked up, bro.
Welcome back to the Patiently Aggressive Podcast. This is your host, Big Wave. And today we got Wavy with us. What's going on, Wavy?
What's up?
Now, man, there's a lot going on in the news. You know, a lot going on in Atlanta. But for the music scene, what I found interesting is they said that, the jail phone call that came out that Young Thug paid $50,000 on fake streams to help Gunna DS Forever album debut and number one outtaking the Weeknd's album.
Like that. Like, I know you can't go nowhere in this world and get no $20 million check from no label. You're not doing numbers like that. You alright, but you ain't doing that like that. You know, like the number one album you just had right now. I paid for you to have a number one album. You didn't. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, earn a number one album over the weekend, my boy. I paid for that shit. I never said that to him. I never told him that. You know, cause we just got the plug on that. Like, you never earned a number one album. I spent $50 extra grand buying motherfucking streams, $50,000 buying streams for you to beat Weeknd. Like, and Cash know the same plug, so Cash could have did the same thing. But Cash like let it go. Cash just like sat down, like, man, let the nigga on the win. I ain't sending shit.
So, what do you think about that? How these labels are using fake streams to push these artists to number one, or to get their song spinning on the radio or all type, and it make us question: is the artist really talented? Did they get to where they get based on their talent? There's a lot going on with that. What you think about that, Wavy?
Yeah, it is an interesting thing because, like, not only for the fans of the artists itself, because they might look at their, like, number one albums and they're, especially, like, the first week sales, like, they'll post all of the first week sales and then it'll look like it's representing their talent in a way that's like, yo, this is based on the music.
Right.
Not thinking that some of these people could be buying the sales or inflating the numbers. And we heard stories about it, but then when you think about how it actually impacts the number one, where it plays with the perception of once it's in the top 5, then they feel like they automatically like the quality of the music just based on it being in the top 5. And they feel like this got to be a dope song versus independent artists that's coming up.
Right. It's like this is all fake now. It's not real. So when you see an artist is like number one, it's like he not really number one if we had to pay, $50K for this. And even the radio plays, like, because they always say you got to pay $250,000 for the artist to get his song on the radio. So that's how these big machines, they get involved, and they have the money to do that. But that's also like a form of payola, if you ask me. It's like none of this shit is real. It's like these artists' songs is not really streaming that much for it to be like, yo, that's why they popular. That's why. So,
because that's what it is. It'd be like, even once you see somebody go on the radio, you'll feel like this got to be a hit song or why they made it to the radio. But they can't even make it to the radio without getting paid $250,000 to play the song, or even know some connections with the label owner or something like that to get their song to the radio. So even if like a artist, I don't want to specific artists because there's a lot of artists, but any artist that makes it
and we want to get this clear too. It's not just Young Thug and Gunna doing that. He's just the only one that admitted.
It's every person on the radio.
Yeah.
You could look at if they signed to a label or not, and
Right.
It's like,
yeah, right. That's the matrix that we're gonna use to measure now. It's like once you heard them on the radio, now you gotta get suspicious. Now it's like, how did they get there? But then, a larger question is, does the fans even really care? That's the other thing. I don't even think the fans give a F about that shit. I don't think the fans just want to hear the music. I think people who are into music, deep, are like if their favorite artist ain't number one, then they really get turned up about that. Like, yeah, I knew it. I knew that's why Drake ain't up there, and or whoever it is, and that's why they ain't there, because everybody else is paying for it, or whatever the case is. So I think it make the fans a little bit upset, or some of them. But in general, the people that's listening to their music still gonna be rocking it, still it's still gonna be going. And then I guess that's why the label taking all this money back. That's why they gotta take this money from you. And then the artists don't even know, because you got artist talent yourself too. So even that you have to watch out for as an independent artist. Even on the artist side, the artists don't even know that's going on. So what do you think that, like, as an artist, would you want to know if, let's say, your manager or somebody like that paid $100K to get your song streaming? Now you number one, it gets your confidence up. You start dropping more music. It's an interesting thing. Or do you want it to be like, it's genuinely came from 1 + 1 streams and adding up to that till it takes you how long it takes you or whatever to get there? I don't know if I'm making that clear, that question that I'm asking.
I understand what you mean. Cause it's like, but then at the same time, I see why it works for the artists, because it'll build their confidence up to where they feel like it helps them continue to create music. It helped them continue to create music in that vibe, but like, they liking the stuff. So then they feel good and confident while they making the music. And then everybody else is liking it also based on how many views they get and stuff. So the comments is like reflecting the streams and the perception that's going on. So, but if they know it, it does take away that feeling of that the fans is actually liking their music.
Right.
But it's interesting how a lot of companies pay to like get the artists in front of the fans before the fans actually like their music. Like
right, because what you're saying is 100% right. Because major labels buy legitimacy. Because back in the days it was like the radio payola. The labels will quickly be paying the DJ station, the radio station to spin the records until they broke through. Now it's the playlist payola and streaming manipulation, funding, promotional placements, streams, farms, even direct buys like ad buys disguised as marketing. So even I heard Leo Cohen said back in the days, like, he was blunt when he said he could turn this artist's grandmother into a platinum artist if he wanted to. I'm kind of drawn on that issue now that I think about it, because I'm also on the manager side on artists, and it's either nobody could do it or they should let everybody do it. Because the problem that I have now is like Spotify, all that stuff. I see they tighten down on the streams and all the type of stuff, or and I'm not into buying fake streams and all that type of stuff. I'm not into it. But I think if anybody wants to do it, they should have that option. Just because the label's doing it. The label's doing it to push their artists ahead, creating that fake perception like the artist is streaming 100,000 streams. So when somebody see that, even helps for business standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Now that artist could probably get companies coming to him, see him coming up as an upcoming artist, be like, oh, his numbers is coming up. Let me try to give him something to promote, or let me try to give him. It could help in a lot of ways. But it take that away from an independent artist coming up if he was trying to do that. Not saying I'm with that, but I think the record labels shouldn't be able to do it. Neither should the independent artists. But if the record labels are doing it, the independent artists or whoever want to do it should be able to do it too. So I'm kind of drawn on that issue. I could break it down why the majors get away with it and the indie artists don't. Because basically the labels equal partners, right? So we got like platforms like Spotify, Apple, YouTube. They rely on the big three. These three record companies, Universal, Sony, and Warner. Those are the three that runs everything. All those other like miniature record labels, they just fall under those three basic record companies. So they're not gonna flag their lifetime partners because they're all in cahoots now. They're all in, so they're not gonna flag them, but they will flag independent artists, and you can see why it makes sense. Now, indies, they equal like outsiders to them. That's how they're looking at it. If any unsigned artist runs bots or the platform has no reason to tolerate them, they'll purge their streams, suspend their accounts, shadow ban their tracks. Nobody can hear it. They do all of that to the indie artists. And it's to help their partners out. So it's like the casino. The house works with the whales, the majors, but kicks out the small players trying to count their cards. So then also with this going on, it helps them with the marketing, because now we start to talk about the rule of 7 in marketing that most people ain't aware of. You play something 7 times, or a person hears something 7 times, more than likely take a liking to that person, or they're familiar with the product now and want to buy it and don't even know why. Doing all of this, they also use the psychology where a person needs to see or hear something 7 times before they recognize and trust it. So the fake streams and the radio spin, playlists, placements, they create that illusion that the song is everywhere. You know, the illusion that convince real people now to give it a chance. Because once it feels, you know, and then there's a lot of, this is a copycat generation. There's a lot of, well, human beings in general are copycat. It's subjective. They like to learn from other people. Once somebody say, oh, this is hot, or this is the new sneakers, yo, we gonna wear it. So once they see that fake perception now, they're saying, yo, this is the new artist, they don't want to get left out. They want to throw this in behind their picture now when they go on Instagram. They want to, you know, put this when they riding out. They want to play this song now because that's what's viral on TikTok. And that's what's streaming. So it helped them in the marketing. We could go into now where we could give an alternative for like indie artists. You know, like for example, we say boom. The label plan is like this. Their version is they get $250K for the radio campaigns, which is just basically legalized payola, radio promotion budget. And then they use millions for playlist placement deals with Spotify and Apple. And they also flood DSPs with pre-save ads and banners. People don't know what that is. It's like before the song drop, you will get a pre-save portion of the song that you could send to people before the song even release, or, you know, before it reach all these other platforms. And they will promote those and put money behind that. So then now the alternative for indie, if the major label version, the indie version now would be they will just skip bots. Instead, they would invest a small amount, like $20 to $100 a day, and they will target certain specific like Instagram, TikTok ads, pushing fans into like their Spotify's pre-save or their YouTube video views to help the song go up. They also could pitch to independent playlists themselves and like say Submit Hub, Playlist Push, or even directly through DMs. Then they could also focus on niche genre specific playlists. You know what I'm saying? Like a certain niche in the music, like say like turn up music, trap music, or you know, whatever the niche is, they could focus on that. And I would also say they could hit up influencers, also, you know, pay girls to dance to the video. That's basically what the independent artists could do as an alternative to what the big majors do with their 250. And there's a lot more we could go into. Just overall, man, I think that was interesting. Young Thug point that out, and there's a lot of other artists that's getting that same treatment, but nobody's talking about it, you know, telling that they paying that for whatever the case is. So Spotify had a way where they try to cut out some of the fake bots streams and all of that. And then when they did that last week, it came out to be that Kendrick now was #1 after they took out the bots and all of that. Kendrick had like the most streams on Spotify, 1.7 billion or something like that. You know, removing some of those bot streams helped Kendrick because it shows you that he's not, and that even give Kendrick more props or more respect, because now you know that his shit is more real if they so-called remove all the fake streams and he's pushed to #1. And that might change next week because Drake is like right under the bottom too. Drake got like mad songs, so that could even change next week too. What do you think about labels creating fake stream or paying for fake streams? Like Young Thug said, paying $50,000 for fake streams and to push the music on the people instead of the people choosing the music. So in these scenarios, it's like the people is not choosing the music chose the people in that case. So what do we think about that? Does it really matter? Or is that a corrupt way of like brainwashing people to thinking they like songs or like shit they don't do? And then especially with the control of like, especially radios, bro, that's where it's really, because radios only play a certain songs. If you're driving and you turn on your radio station, you're going to hear the same song about 3 to 5 times in the same hour. You're going to hear the same song. No lie. So let me know what you guys think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is your boy Big Wave and Wavy. I'm out.